Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of PoCommunity. It's Mike Arbot again, and I'm here with local recording artist Emerald.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Tell us a little bit about your story, how you got into music.
All right. Well, I have always been super into music, like always. But I didn't start taking it seriously probably until 2016-ish. I kind of have always been writing and just kind of coming up with stuff. I've always played instruments, like in high school and middle school. I played violin, like saxophone, clarinet, like all that stuff. But I started writing in 2016 and put out an EP called I Can Tell. And that was all filmed on recorded on my iPhone. So, because I had zero equipment and still kind of really don't, but I'm getting better. Better.
That's cool. Do it yourself. It's amazing what technology can do for you now and how good the sound can come out. I know I see like multi-million-dollar recording artists putting out like videos where they're recording on their patios and it's like crystal clear sound.
It's crazy.
So yeah, that's really cool. So how many EPs have you put out?
I've put out I think 3 or 4. Maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, I've put out a couple, but I don't know why I'm not really into singles. I just feel like I usually just write a bunch of stuff and then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just put it all together and put out an EP.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of how it works out. Sometimes people have like more of a almost like it's like a storyboard album where it's like it kind of wraps together. A lot of the times it's like you get a bunch of good music, you pick your favorite ones, and call that your EP, right?
Yeah.
Inspirations. What are your who are your inspirations in the music industry?
There's so many people. That's a good question. Mary J. Blige, fantastic.
Yeah.
I really like Ben Howard. Ben Howard's insane. His guitar skills are just out of this world. Who else? Ben Howard, Sam Smith, Mac Miller, Musique, I think his name is. There's a whole time, but like I don't have a genre of music that I don't really like. I kind of genuinely like everything, which is nice.
Yeah, that's wicked. There's a question right there. Like genre wise, what would you consider yourself? I mean, I find today it's a lot easier to not genre like specific yourself. Like it's easy to be a multi like genre artist and or this like they're kind of all meshing together anyways. But really, like what would you consider yourself?
Like a mix between maybe R&B and alternative.
Cool.
Kind of. Like some of my stuff is kind of alternative folk, which I think turns people off or like kind of makes them do a double take. Yeah. And then some of it's R&B, and so it's kind of a mix of both, I would say.
Cool.
Yeah.
Born and raised, you said you were born in Toronto.
Yeah.
Raised in Poco, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Came here when I was 2, I believe, and been here ever since. Poco, born and raised.
Nice. And as you know, like there's a ton of talent that comes out of the Tri-Cities.
It's crazy,
and it's actually quite ridiculous how many people, how much talent comes out of the city that maybe nobody knows about. Like there's a lot of people with love that have it love locally that never make it out of this area. But it's a huge like. It's a hot zone for really, really good artists.
For sure.
Any local artists that you just like love working with?
I've worked with a couple. I think one of the first people that I actually worked with and did a song with was Young Bradley. I'm not sure if he still goes by Young Bradley, but I worked with him on I think 2 songs. Saucy Boy, who was here, Cora, who was here, love them. I've done a couple songs with him. I haven't done anything with Cora yet, but it's definitely in the works. I'm sure I'll bug her about it, but yeah, it's definitely in the works. Who else? There's a ton. Like, I think there's a girl named Kat right now who I recently just found through my friend Kara, who does photography and stuff like that. Her voice is incredible, so her as well. There's just way too many people in Poco who need to be famous. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like they do it so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Like I feel it's always been that way. People that I grew up like I'm a bit older than you, I would guess. I'm in my 30s, so it's like but I had friends from this area that were just insanely good, but just did it as like a fun hobby and never took it seriously.
Yeah.
It has kind of to do with the times. I find like now Canadian artists have the ability to blow up anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
For the longest time, if you were Canadian, unless there's certain stars, but like especially specifically hip hop, it was really hard to break that Canadian mold until Drake came along, really.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, but I know Poco's always just been an incredible hotbed for talent that might not even know that they're that talented.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's so many people from my high school that have gone on and now they're all doing music or doing like YouTube and all this stuff, and I'm like, like what? Where'd you guys come from? So
Yeah,
it's just
ton of
crazy.
young entrepreneurs in the area, like
Yeah.
that just don't want to work for the man and want to do it
Yeah,
themselves.
exactly.
Make their own way. It's awesome. Projects you're working on, you want to plug any like projects that are upcoming? You said you have a video coming out.
Yeah, so I do have my single Upside Down just came out a couple weeks ago, and the lyric video is coming out in 2 days, so September 17th, if it's the 15th today. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. And I have a couple other songs that are kind of in the works that I'm trying to get done, finished, so just keep an eye out for it. Yeah.
Cool. What else could I ask you? I had this conversation. You said Mac Miller again, and like Cora and Saucy Boy talked about how Mac Miller was such an inspiration.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that more and more the more artists I talk to. And as a guy who's a bit older, still I listen to that guy since he was like basically blew up at 16.
Yeah.
Like that, and there's not many people that you can just talk about and get goosebumps. Why? I'll ask this question: why did he resonate so hard with you specifically?
I would say, honestly, the way that he would write and the way that everything just flowed just sounded so nice. Like, I can't explain. It would kind of be like if someone were to ask me the whole genre situation. Like, I guess he is kind of in a genre of like hip hop, but his stuff is also so chill.
Yeah.
That you kind of can't really place him in a box. I feel like he's the kind of person that would come out with like, I don't know, I think one of his songs in the Circle album or something like that. I think it's called Right. That's my favorite song right now. And it's just so chill and so nice. I'm like, how do you do that? Like,
yeah, he was so likable, and you can tell how much you liked him just through his music. There's a lot of people that like, I wouldn't say they're fake, but they have their lyrics don't resonate with everyone.
Yeah.
Max seemed to resonate with everyone.
Everybody.
It doesn't matter where you came from, anything. It's just he had a certain way of delivery and almost like a childish like mentality that kind of was I could talk about that guy with anybody for I don't even know hours. I've seen him twice in concert. He was just you never when you lose people in any walk of life, not everyone will hit everyone the same. But in like celebrity deaths, I don't find that they don't hit me like not everyone doesn't hit me like some people seem to like every celebrity meant the world to them. Mac Miller, man, that
one was another level.
Yeah, like it froze me. It gave me chills. It crushes me to this day still 2 years later. But yeah, I'm noticing it in like I noticed it with Saucy's music specifically because he said he loved Mac so much, and this generation having that as the person to look up to, I envy it because I honestly do. He was so talented, and anybody that is inspired by him, I feel like you're going the right direction, right?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I know that when I first started talking to Saucy Boy, when I first heard his music, I was like, this kind of gives me Mac Miller vibes. Like, I'm definitely vibing with his stuff because it's giving me Mac Miller vibes. So I was like, okay, let's work together. Like, this is incredible. So I'm really grateful that we even had, like, God bless us with Mac Miller. So, like, even a short time on this earth, like, definitely treasured for sure.
It resonates pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know, there just seems like to be a positive generation now, like just keeping the positivity, having fun, not taking life for granted. I feel like that's why just today how it's a pretty crazy time in the world, but I think it's a changing time in the world.
Yeah.
Because people want to make it a more positive place.
For
and
sure.
when I like most in hip hop growing up, the only way you could make it in hip hop was being like over the top hard, like over the top like gangsta, pretty much. And it's just it kind of switched. Now it's to a point where you can be yourself. Why it resonates so hard with me is he was confident, yet he knew how to make fun of himself.
Yeah.
And people that want to think that they're perfect and come off perfect all the time, that's not real.
Yeah, 100%. Literally. And there's so many artists that I definitely see that. Like, there's a couple of artists that I see that, and I'm like, okay, that's what's up. Because I remember when I listened to Billie Eilish, for example, like, her voice, I was like, who is that? And you hear her voice, and you think of, like, I don't know, some proper, like, etiquette, like, cute, fun, fresh girl, but she's a badass. Like, she's really bad. And I was like, wow. But it's like, you really can't, like, there is no way to put her in a box. There is no way to explain her in a sense. And that's what I love about her. And that's what I love about music. Like, sometimes there is genres which is super awesome. And, like, it's good to categorize and pick a genre. But at the same time, like, Billie Eilish, Mac Miller, like, there's a whole bunch of people that you're just like, you can't even put them in a box. They're just too good.
Yeah, and it feels like the mainstream, like, big artists of the world finally have control of themselves.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you signed to a multi-million-dollar label for a huge deal, they had control of your image. They had control of everything.
Yeah, that's
if they wanted to take a girl and over-sexualize her when she wasn't that person, they did. Yeah. Now people are like, you got Billie Eilish who really like rock big sweaters and like that, and she's like, screw you guys, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm still gonna be a multi-million-dollar recording artist.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing that people can finally be themselves, because if you think about like the past, how many artists that didn't get to be themselves turned into like just mentally drained and just mentally screwed.
Yeah.
Now it's nice to see that people like are keeping to themselves.
Yeah.
They're staying true to themselves.
Yeah.
And they can do this independently now. Like, people can create huge followings independently, and
it's so good.
Doing it all yourself. Like, you said you did the album on an iPhone.
Yeah, yikes.
Like that's amazing to me, because like I didn't have time to listen to it, but I want to go and listen to that now, to see what it sounds like, because I get amazed with what basic things can do now. Like this microphone. Like,
right?
I went to school for music production 15 years ago ish, and it was still pretty manual. Like, there was a lot of manual labor involved with like recording.
Yeah.
Now you can do it. Phones take amazing photography and videography. Yeah. But like now when you record, are you still doing that? You said you got a little bit better.
I got a little bit better. I used to record, all my music is recorded in my room, in my bedroom, and my bedroom is very small. So like, I don't really have much space, but I usually rent like a mic, the stand, interface, like all that stuff, microphone, headphones through Long McQuaid. So shout out to them, because that's what's up.
Poco,
that's what's up. If you need equipment, go to Long McQuaid.
Yeah.
I usually get my stuff from there, and then I just record. But I used to like plug in those like Apple headphones and just record through the little thing.
That's insane.
I think it sounded okay. I remember in 2016 when I put it out, and I put on like Facebook, like one of those groups or whatever, and there's like 50,000 people, and I got so many. I was like, wow, people seem to like it, and I don't think they can tell it's filmed on an iPhone, but it's okay.
That's good production on your part, and good engineering.
Yeah, thank you.
I actually have a bit of a story about like that. Is when you're an upcoming artist, don't spend all your money on crazy recording studios and stuff. Like they're expensive downtown, especially. They're super expensive. My uncle's in the music industry. He has been my whole life. I had friends that were musicians growing up, and they were always trying to hand me demos and stuff. Obviously, right? One friend put so much money into his demo. He's super talented.
Yeah.
He's like, you give it to your uncle? I'm like, yeah, I gave it to my uncle. My uncle straight up said, hey, this guy's a teenager. Why does it sound so professional? He's like, well, I want to hear that gritty in the basement. If you can make yourself sound good in your basement, in your bedroom, you got ultra talent. You go to a professional studio and spend hundreds to thousands of dollars, you can make anybody sound great.
Yeah.
That's the thing now,
That is so
especially
true.
specifically now. Like you can go and just literally take somebody with not any talent
Yeah.
and throw together a hit song. There's tons of that in hip hop right now.
That's so true.
But if you can grind it out, like you said, with
With what you
Apple
have.
headphone,
Yeah.
dude, you got super talent. Like
Thanks,
that's crazy good. So yeah, like I just love that drive. I love that. Like I ain't gonna get stopped by a microphone, a proper microphone or whatever. I'm just gonna do it. If people don't think it's good enough, I don't care. I'll just go and do something different next time. I don't. It's so yeah. I really like that drive that I can tell you have.
Thanks.
Yeah, it seems just like musicians in this area, they're just grinding it hard.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's what we gotta do. Honestly, I mean, I've always said, and people have asked me sometimes, like, oh, are you with somebody? Are you, like, how do you do all your stuff? And I'm like, it's in my room with nobody. I just do it for fun. Like, I just love music so much, and I just kind of want to put it out. And if something happens, cool. If something doesn't, cool too. Like, sometimes I'll just play my songs. I'm like, actually, that was a good one. Maybe I'll write another one. Or
Yeah. Do you do all your do you have any graphic work and stuff? Is that you too?
It's all me. I'm like not a good drawer or anything, but like photo wise, it's usually Kara. Like she'll take the photos, edit them. We did a album. I think it was an album. Yeah, we did an album called Emerald, and it was like, she's incredible, Kara, with all of her stuff, but that whole thing was her. But recently I've been doing it on my own and just like taking photos, just putting them up. Like everything's super simple. Like I don't really like things to be super complicated.
Yeah.
Like I just use whatever I can and just make the best out of it, honestly.
More materials better than none.
Yeah.
That's there's a guy, I forget, he's like an inspirational speaker, but he like really pushes the fact that like just put content out.
Yeah.
If you're gonna wait till everything's perfect, you'll never put anything out.
Exactly.
So if maybe one thing you don't like as much as the other, still put it out. Just put it out. Put it out.
Yep.
What people make hits out of now are crazy. Sometimes your favorite work you put out so confident, doesn't get the response you want, and then you put out something that you just had fun joking around. It's not serious. You just kind of put it out there, and it becomes huge. And that's the world today we live in. That people become sensations over ridiculous stuff more than real good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed talking to you, Emerald. Is there anything else you want to plug? Anything? Anybody you want to plug? Anything? Like website, Instagram page?
Let's see. Off the top of my head, I could only think of Kara. Kara Maltz, Alovia, Cora, Saucy Boy, Chad. I think he's coming later.
He's coming today.
Cool. Yeah. Chad. Who else? I don't know. There's a bunch of people. Just cool. Everybody in Poco, stay in contact with each other. Yeah,
I was actually talking to Cora last night just through Instagram, like about possibly doing like events here, not concerts per se, because obviously COVID's kind of really made it hard. Like it's really still an option for small intimate shows and stuff, but just getting artists and producers and all that in the area just to have a meetup where they just like meet each other, have like a few drinks, whatever, and just find people that you might not necessarily know exist.
Yeah.
And
that'd be awesome.
In like genres or whatever, like you find these people that producers find artists, vice versa, that you might want to collaborate with that you might never find unless you have those types of events. So that's an option too if you're interested. But yeah, 100%. That's definitely something we want to build here. Me coming with the music production background a little bit, like I stopped doing it 10 years ago, but I do have that background. I really want to have musicians here. It's just a certain breed of people that just good vibes and good everything. But yeah, thanks, Emerald.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for watching another edition of PoCommunity, and we'll
wasted all my time, boy. And if I had $1 for every time you hurt me, I'd be rich like Kylie, cruising in in my Lambo, chillin' by the pool, sipping my martini. Boy, you're acting like a fool. My boy, he's a liar, a manipulator, and by the time we're done, you're gonna be on a ventilator. I'll tuck you in at night to go to sleep, then bust the windows out your yellow Jeep. Grab a pen and paper just to write down. My boy, he cheated, time to turn his whole world upside down. You showered me with flowers and covered me in jewelry, but you never really loved me, because you did the same things for her. And you said that we get married, said that we'd have babies, not only to me but to your other little lady. And you thought I'd never find out, thought I never got you. Maybe next time tell your little friend she left behind her clue. I'll tuck you in at night to go to sleep, then bust the windows out your yellow Jeep. Grab a pen and paper just to write down. My boy, he cheated, time to turn his whole world upside down.